What is good, everybody? It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. I am clearly not in the studio, but we do still got the squad in the studio. What's going on, boys? Oh, a little small squad action. Jordan JC in the building, and of course, the super producer Joel Holt over there. Yeah, what's happening, boys? How y'all feeling today, man? Gotta sit here and talk about Eddie Jackson. Little cryptic on the IG, dropping a little cryptic action, telling us his possible future with the Chicago Bears. Got to talk about how do the Bears actually go about looking to replace him. Super Bowl this Sunday. What are you doing? We got some stuff planned. I got to talk about the etiquette of the Super Bowl party. We got to get into that, right? Let's have that conversation and also give our Super Bowl picks, our predictions on what we expect to have breaking down the game. And then dripper skip. We're doing a little dripper skip action and finally Friday free throw. Friday, little dripper skip. All that and more in today's episode of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave that 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. What's happening, boys? How y'all feeling back over there in the stew, man?
Oh man, feeling good, man. It's Friday, good start to the weekend. Looking forward to this Super Bowl.
Yeah, man. I'm excited about the bowl, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like this is gonna be a fun one. I think this is gonna be a real defensive battle. But let's start it off here. Listen, we all love BoJack. Let's get that out the way.
Yeah, facts.
We all love Eddie Jackson. We would love for him to remain a Chicago Bear forever. But the realistic situation here is BoJack is an $18+ million hit to your cap. You're more than likely going to end up moving on from him. BoJack took to IG earlier today and basically put out a the NFL cryptic post that we all see everywhere now, where it basically was just like, love you guys, Chicago, and it had a couple emojis after it, the prayer hands, all of that stuff. With BoJack now leaving, first off, do you feel like this is a move that has to take place? Do you feel like BoJack has to be gone from Chicago? Because let's be real, the fall off has been precipitous over the last couple of years, and mostly
excellent word choice.
Mostly due to injury, but some play on the field, right? In coverage, he's never been great, but we saw him kind of bounce back with some of the play on the field, and then we saw that slowly fall back off.
I would say it's a combination of all those things, but also just the fact that when you're rebuilding the defense, that always is that's hard to overcome as well as aging. So it's like the injuries, you don't have the defensive line in front of you to help, make. When you had Khalil Mack and Akeem Hicks, with Leonard Floyd and Floyd was still there. That was a pretty good defense for you to be able to feast and be able to be a ball hawk. So once that's gone, and then you're not able to overcome that. So unfortunately, he becomes more of a cap casualty and not be able to be here based on his age. Was he like 31?
He's 30 years old.
Yeah, 30. So that's always. What's your take, Jordan?
Yeah, 22. He actually looked like he was finding himself again. I believe his stats. I'm looking at it right now. 4 interceptions in 22. 21 tackle assists, 80 combo tackles rather. It looked as if you kind of were getting the old BoJack back, but after that injury, he was kind of a shell of himself. And like I've said before in takes previously, I think that Eddie Jackson at this point is an all or nothing player. He gives you the picks, he gives you the pick sixes. He's a great mentor in the locker room. There's things that he has as intangibles off the field, but I think at this point, with the Bears trying to get younger and they have all of these young, good, up-and-coming defensive players, I think that it's time to make that move to possibly get somebody that's a sure tackler. I've been on record saying I've been frustrated with the way that Eddie kind of comes at tackling people. He kind of doesn't even wrap. He kind of like tries to bowling ball his way into people. Yeah. It's just kind of bad. But overall in his career, that's not taken away from him as a player. In his entire career, Eddie Jackson was an amazing player in the glory days for the Bears defense.
Real quick, let's shout out the Breeze Nation. What's going on? Got a couple good comments in there. Like Eric Kez, he says we all love BoJack, but we don't want him We love him.
Hey,
Not at
I'm
18
not gonna
mil.
lie. I was literally gonna highlight that comment because I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah.
that to me perfectly explains it. We all absolutely love Eddie Jackson, but we don't love him at $18 million. The one pushback I'll give to Jordan, though, and I'll ask this question to the chat, I'll ask it to y'all. Is that a position that you want to get younger at? The reason I say that is maybe you want to get younger in the sense of going out and finding a draft pick that you could put back there and have somebody that's up and coming. But the confidence that Jaquan Brisker has talked about having somebody who's a veteran back there, having somebody who's a sure who knows basically how to do his job, right, is something to me that. Are you removing Eddie Jackson to bring in just anybody or bring in a young piece and say, okay, Jaquan, it's your show now. You need to go run it. To me, I think you need to go get one of these veterans that is out there right now. I'd even take a chance on a guy like Micah Parsons, who's older, gives you a year. I'm sorry, Micah Parsons, Micah Hyde.
I was about to say, I'll take Micah Parsons.
Like, wait a minute.
He can play safety and linebacker for me at the same time.
Didn't he play safety and all that at Penn State?
He played a little safety. He plays everything, brother. You got to see it. No, but I'd take a chance on a guy like Micah Hyde to me because even at 33, he knows how to do his job. He's going to be a sure guy back there. And Jaquan Brisker, who I believe has figured it out, I believe going into his third year is going to be really good. You're still looking at a guy who can come in and is going to need somebody competent on the other side. Because not to say you see the play fall off when Eddie Jackson's not out there, but you can tell that there's a difference when he didn't have that guy.
So, like the chat, I'm with the chat where my man Antoine Winfield Jr. I mean,
I'm with you.
He's looking like but he's looking like $100 million player right there. Like that's 20 mil easy, but he is a dog and he plays that type of system. And maybe he wants to come to an ascending team if they let him. But I believe he's unrestricted free agent. I don't think he's
but the problem with that is, right, you paying Jalen.
Well,
if you paying Jalen, you also paying Antoine 20.
Well, if you free up that cap space, I think that because I just read somewhere where it's like 12.56 million in cap space that's freed up for Eddie Jackson. I mean, I know that there's money that needs to be put towards the other players and the agent, the free agency and everything like that. But I mean, if you do pay Jalen and then you also go the Antoine Winfield route, because to me, it kind of seems like the second coming to Mike Brown in a sense, a little bit.
That's music to my ears.
Yeah. I know you like that, but that's what I would do. I mean, you probably have to figure out the money situation there. No, but I mean, that's a good what if.
I love the name.
You take Caleb Williams and you got this defense for 4 or 5 years because you're going to sign him to a 4-year deal, maybe a 5-year deal at that type of price.
I just feel like, right, I love the name. I love the utilization of the player. I would love to have him on this team, right? But we still need a 3 technique out there. You drafting that or you signing that. We still need a defensive end. You drafting that or you signing that, right? Like there's still pieces to me that honestly, it's weird to say, right? But to me are more important than going out and high paying a safety right now. The one thing that I will say, though, is that you don't want to undersell this. You don't want to leave that position out to dry. And I think that's why I said a guy like Micah Hyde, because I feel like you can get a guy like Micah Hyde in here for what? 10 mil, 8 mil, something like that.
Yeah.
Like you're getting them on a better deal than if you were going out and trying to bet the house on an Antoine Winfield. I love Antoine Winfield, but you paying for Antoine Winfield.
Yeah, but you also paying for somebody that you know what you're gonna get. Now I'm not saying like we do. Hey, in polls we trust right now, that secondary drafting looks pretty good. He might be able to find him a free safety in the draft, which would also be like when you go to free agency, you are paying for your mistakes in the draft because you couldn't draft somebody. Yeah. So to pay somebody that, it's to your point, Pat, I guess you wouldn't pay that type of money for a guy at that type of price. When you do that, you're trying to get the icing on the cake, in my opinion. Right. You go out to the free agent, you get the best free agent on the market, and it's like, yo, we got this guy because the whole team is built, and now I can afford that because most of these are very team-friendly contracts. Most of them are rookie deals. So to your point, not when you're still trying to build a team would you do that, but hey, if he can make it happen and bring Winfield, that would be great. But I believe he can probably draft another safety.
Yeah, the only thing is I don't know of any safeties right now. I've done a lot of deep dives on and profile breakdowns on, like, obviously the wide receivers, names that are going to be taken kind of at the top of the draft. I have to do a little bit more in-depth research on the safeties, but I know there's another name that was mentioned in the chat that might be a good one, is Xavier McKinney. I mean, you might be able to get him on a cheaper deal as well. He's a decent player as well.
The thing is, though, the way that this defense is designed, we've seen it. Like we've seen how good this defense can be. So, the tricky part is you do need those key guys. I still have slight bad memories and nightmares of Daniel Manning missing that coverage because you released the other guy because the other safety is supposed to pick up the other receiver and they got through and we lost. Like, you can have those type of moments where that screws us because that's the way that coverage defense works. Right. So, I mean, we can't necessarily go bargain basement. We got to find the guy that's going to be here for a while.
Yeah. What's good, Mike? Nice.
I think that's and shout out to the Breeze Fam. Tricky Trips in here. Mike Nice in the building, man. Appreciate y'all. Mitch Osborne. Mitch says, what about Julian Blackmon? Flus converted him from cornerback to free safety during his time in Indy when Blackmon was a rookie, cheaper than the others too. You said what, Joe?
No, I was just shouting out in the chat.
You said Justin Blackmon?
Yeah.
I'm trying to see.
The last Justin Blackmon.
Julian Blackmon. My bad.
I was about to say, wasn't Blackmon a wide receiver?
Yeah, I think Justin Blackmon played for the Bears.
Built him up so much, and he just completely bombed.
I think he drank himself out of the league or something like that. Straight up.
Jesus. Whoa.
No, really. Yeah.
From Oregon. I believe he did.
Oregon State? I can't remember.
No, he was like
Oklahoma State.
I thought he was USC or something.
No. Blackmon was from Oklahoma State. I remember those.
He
colors.
was like
I think
incredible,
he was Oklahoma State.
and I think he literally kind of drank himself out of the league.
Yeah,
I think the thing is, right, the one thing that I'll say is I think most of us kind of believe that, not that you have to go bargain shop or basement bin shopping, right? Not that you have to be at the bottom of the barrel trying to figure this out, but I do think that you kind of look at it and go, hey, listen, we got to go with a guy who is not the high price guy to me. Right. Like, I think that's like and this is the moment where your young guys are going to take over. You're re-signing Jalen. Jalen's 24 years old. You've got Jaquan Brisker back there already, who is, really ascending quickly. Kyler Gordon stepping up. Tyreek Stevenson looks like a really good piece for the Bears moving forward here. So you've got the young guys, right, kind of starting to take over this defense. I think my whole thing is it doesn't even have to be a great guy. Like you said, the one thing that we didn't get from Eddie Jackson that we needed to see from Eddie Jackson more is just consistent tackling. Just wrap the guy up, bring him to the ground on a consistent basis. So just somebody who literally you can bring in and do that with. For maybe it is, right, to me, like a center position. You draft somebody this year, you take somebody young, or you find somebody who was a project on someone else's team, and you put a veteran in front of that guy until he turns into what you want to do. I believe Ryan Poles has drafted 2 safeties in his time here already. Maybe it's time for one of them to step up. You also have to look at the fact, though, that none of them really have, because Bojack has missed time with the injury.
No. First of all, a free safety is really more of a free ranging. He's the ball hawk guy. He's supposed to try to
cutting those passing lanes.
Strong safety is the guy that come in late, knock the dudes out. That's what Brisker's doing.
Yeah.
So we just need. That's how. Look, man, I'm just saying. I like Tyreek Stevenson. I was like, why don't we just kick him over to another position? Or, you know what I'm saying?
He is a thumper. He does like he especially early on in the season, he was getting a lot was.
As Drew says, he's handsy. Yeah, he's really handsy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, why don't we move him there? And if anything, then we draft another cornerback, because they can
get a little Kool-Aid McKinstry up in there.
Big Kool-Aid guy, are you?
That wouldn't happen. Get him that early, but I think that would make the most sense.
See, my only problem with moving here's what I don't want the Bears to do. By the way, over 100 in the chat.
Let's go. Hey, you see, we already got more viewers than yesterday.
Quiet, you be quiet, sir. I was trying to talk about the news of the day, and apparently nobody cares about the Chicago Bulls. Which
we had nobody. Nobody watched this show yet. It was like,
hey, bro.
Never do it.
We were hurting to even get to 100 yesterday.
Hey, dog, we could have done a full video of Kool-Aid McKinstry, and it would have had more videos.
It would have been way better.
Bulls, bro. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you, dog. Like, that was crazy. Could have done a full hour long of Kool-Aid McKinstry. By the way,
Going
Hunter in
down
the
the
chat, only
McKinstry
23 likes
family
on this
tree.
mug. Let's
We
get the
coulda-
let's get the
we
likes up on this mug. Here's the one thing that I'll say about that, right? To combat Joel's point, isn't that what we've seen the Bears do time and time again, where we got a nice player that fits in here, we start to see him looking good, and oh my goodness, here we go, and then well, actually he can do this though,
No,
like
that's
we
not-
put him over there,
No,
and then you're
'cause
like,
people-
but he's not as good there, right? Like he's still good, but he's not as good. I don't want to see us moving guys around. I don't want to see us.
When we've done that
saying-
project on the offensive line, it has kind of come back to bite us, because you draft the right tackle and say, oh, maybe he could be a left guard, or you draft a left guard, oh, he could be our left tackle, and it doesn't happen and it doesn't work out. So I do agree with making sure that a person plays their natural position. I think I see what your point is about Tyreek Stevenson as far as the way he plays. He has that thumper mentality. He has that aggressive tackle mentality that Eddie doesn't. So I can see why you're saying that, but as far as I would still want to get a natural safety to obviously fill that position.
But y'all act like this doesn't happen. First of all, I'm not saying take this guy, put him in position he doesn't thrive, but if he has the ability to do it, because there are players, people move positions all the time. Certain guys are tight ends and turn into defensive ends. There's guys who are quarterbacks
That's true.
that became running backs.
Mercedes Lewis.
There's tons of people
Tight
that
end
this is nothing
blocker.
new. So I'm not suggesting, I don't want to ruin this guy's career by saying that, but I think based off him, I'm not saying move Jalen Johnson to free safety. I'm saying Stevenson has a certain skill set that I think he could possibly be a free safety. That's if they don't draft a guy. That's if we don't sign Antoine Winfield Jr. That's if they go ahead and go for Micah Hyde, whatever. But the whole point is, I think it is an option.
Yeah, but the problem at the end of the day is that you end up having a guy who has to now spend his entire offseason training for a different position. He has to know, right? If you're making that switch has to be made now, because he's got to go into the entire offseason. Not to say these guys aren't cross-trained, but your focus is completely different. You're now free safety. You need to know what your assignment is. You need to know, and it's not just, okay, well, if it doesn't work, we could just throw him back where he was. He'll be fine over there. You focus on things in the offseason. I would rather continue to see Tyreek Stevenson grow as a corner, because I think you have a heck of a 1-2 punch at the corner position right now. Heck, a 1-2-3 if you include Kyler Gordon in that, versus having the one punch. I really liked what we saw last year from Terrell Smith, but I don't think that Terrell Smith is at the level of safety that Tyreek Stevenson is.
See,
I level of DB as Tyreek.
I'm rocking with rocking with Broadway Kobe. You don't need to pay Jalen Johnson $20 million. Trade him and take a cornerback.
No, see, again, we had that discussion. I'm not trading JJ. If at the very least you're going to tag him, you're not letting somebody who proved that they should get a contract just walk out for anything. I mean, the man did what he was supposed to do. The only problem we had with him was he didn't get takeaways, and he got takeaways.
No, I don't have a problem with him. I'm just saying we're trying to build a squad. So
but who would you want to replace JJ's? Like we just talked about the
Tyreek Stevenson
building up.
We're moving Tyreek everywhere.
You want Tyreek to just be
Deion
Sanders now?
Hey, I do it in Madden all the time.
and I think that's exactly how you're doing it. You also have to take the human element into account, where a guy in your locker room who literally said, I've proven everything you need me to prove, above and beyond, right? He did more than we thought he was going to do this season when it came to takeaways, pass breakups. Like, he was literally probably a top 3 DB in the NFL this season.
Look,
and to say, hey, appreciate you for doing everything you did. Get up out of here. Get him up
Joe
out of here.
always has the line whenever somebody's coming at him with facts. He's like, everybody relax. So he just calm down.
Hey, listen,
right?
If we can keep
Joe can't take all these facts in his face.
If we can keep them, then we'll keep my I'm fine we pay Jalen Johnson. I'm just saying, as we're building his squad out, that's all. How do we get the best? So if he's his
you
impact,
pay a top 5 cornerback. That's how you get.
Yes, you're right, Pat. Thank you very much.
That answers that.
Yeah, there you go. There you have it.
I thought it was obvious. Seemed pretty simple to me. I guess maybe I was on me. That was my mistake for assuming that that we were all on the same page there. King Book of World. Wait a minute. There's a name, General Booty, in the draft.
Yeah, who the heck is that? General Booty.
Oh yeah, that's a real player, bro.
We got some wild.
I don't think he's in this draft though. I don't think he's in this draft though. I want to say General Booty's coming out next year, right? He's a
Mike
quarterback.
Davis
That actually is a crazy statement, Pat.
Mike Davis said, "Give me 2 more shows." He's gonna have Stevenson as the new 3 technique. Just bulk him up some.
Hey, bro, yeah, you give him a couple more shows.
Just keep eating that protein, dog. You gonna be all pro. keep me.
Tariq's gonna be our center.
Hey, Mike Davison. Mike
nose
Davison.
tackle.
3. Hey, look, 3 technique. Now you give Joe 2 more shows, you gonna be he gonna have him taking snaps. He gonna be sitting there. He'll be sitting there playing center. Be like, so you want to snap it straight back and get a lot fatter.
First of all, you put the ball through here, not that way. That way.
Thanks a lot.
Nah, yeah. Hey, Nick Emmerman said 3-4 years for Noah nigga. Or a nigga, I guess the name is, right?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
that's a crazy name, bro. We letting that one fly. Hey, RG3 said you got to have it on the shirt as let a nigga know.
Hey,
that's crazy, dog. That's crazy. Anyway, appreciate y'all for tuning in to Showing Love. 141 in the building. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page. Hey, man, I'm not gonna lie. I hope he make the league, but man, that's gonna be tough because Mug's gonna be throwing the N-word out there and they'll be like, I'm talking about the player. I'm talking about the player. Hey, get out of here, bro. I'll put hands on you. I'll put hands on you right now. But hey, man, hit that like button, subscribe to the page. We appreciate you guys, like I said, for tuning in and showing love. Let's keep this thing moving along, boys. Let us know how you guys feel about Bojack's future. I guess the one question I would say before we get completely off the subject, even though we've seen the cryptic tweet that Bojack might not be here next season, how much money is he getting if you kind of release him or try to restructure something? I get it, the dead money and all of that. He's probably not going to restructure, but would he be a player worth keeping around just for leadership?
No. I need production at this point.
No.
Yeah, and I'm just going to be completely transparent. I mean, I loved Eddie Jackson again, like I said in the previous years, but at this point in time, just like hopefully the followers don't get out the chat, but just like the Bulls and going in a different direction.
Oh, we lost one.
Okay. But no, I think that it's time now for production to kind of outweigh mentorship. Jaquan Brisker has moved along enough where he doesn't need Eddie Jackson to be around, I think, to do what he needs to do. Like if we bring somebody like Winfield in, or if we bring, a first round or second round or third round safety in here to pair with Jaquan Brisker, then Jaquan can be that mentor. I think he's been in the league enough to know how to train someone else or to teach up someone else. So no, I'm good on that.
Mike Nice said peace soon as you mentioned the Bulls.
Come back, Mike. Come back. It was just a sentence.
Dude, why did it drop? It went from 133 to 129 and then jumped back up to 136.
Hey, Muzz thought he was serious.
Hey,
I'm sorry, guys.
We could go out and video a bear and keep people
just an actual video.
Just an actual bear. Like a real bear.
That's what we need to have a conversation on. What all could we talk about outside of the Bulls that would keep people in the chat? Because I'm not gonna lie, this year, bro, nobody wants any part in it.
I think the Bulls have to win a championship in order for people to get back in this book.
Bro, Muzz wouldn't be paying attention till the ECF though. He'd be like, oh, maybe there's a chance. So you're saying there's a chance. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and showing love. We're going to play a quick word from our sponsors. When we come back on the other side, though, we are going to talk about this upcoming Super Bowl. What is our expectation? Is there any free agents that we want out of this Super Bowl? Talked about that on a video. I want to bring that to you guys here as well. All that and more on this episode of the Windy City Breeze. We'll be right back right after this. Kid, what's up, kid? Appreciate you guys for tuning in and watching the show. Today's episode of the podcast is brought to you by Aura. Have you ever done a Google search on your own name? You'd be surprised what pops up. Your full name, email address, home address, health records, your relatives. It's all out there. And that's why I've been using Aura, the sponsor of today's video. Aura shows me which data brokers are selling my information and automatically submits opt-out requests just for me. Cleaning up my information not only helps reduce the amount of spam I get, but it protects me from hackers who could use that information to help them access my social media, bank accounts, and other sensitive information. It's really simple to set up. I don't have to download several apps or go to things like antivirus, VPN, password management, parental controls, identity theft, but you can get all of that in one place with Aura. I get everything at one affordable price as well. You may already have one or two of these tools, but not having Aura is like leaving the front door locked while leaving the back door and windows wide open. For you to be able to take advantage of Aura, we got a special deal for you here today. Stop data brokers from exposing your personal information. Go to my sponsor at https:/aura.com/the Windy City. Again, that is aura.com/the Windy City to get a 14-day free trial and see how much of your information is being sold. Welcome back, See Red Nation, baby. Let's get this Bulls talk. No, I'm crying. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Don't tempt them.
Are we letting that comment slide? I'm gonna put it in the chat. I'm not gonna put it here. I'm putting it in the chat.
I was gonna say, what comment did we hear? Oh, wait a minute.
Check the group chat. Just understand that. Just understand that part. Where's the flags at? We need a flag on that.
Listen,
right
that
away.
is a part of the people that pay us money. That's a part of the people that pay us money. So yes, we're leaving that.
That man said it so smoothly too. Leaving the back door.
We're getting the red flags and the yellow flags in here soon.
Oh
so
God, it's gonna be insane.
It's
It's just gonna be
like an average of like 5 throws from everybody every show.
5 flags a show, right? We're gonna be reffed way too hard. Hey man, appreciate you guys for tuning in and showing love. Let's jump into some of this Super Bowl talk. The one thing that I did want to start off and bring to you guys, then break down the actual Super Bowl itself. But there's a lot of free agents in this Super Bowl that I think are interesting names that the Chicago Bears could bring back. And I wanted to throw a couple of them at you guys and see, you know, what your thoughts are on bringing some of these people back. Now, the conversations that we've had, right, on certain positions here has been an interesting one when you talk about right safety and different things like that. But I think there's even some like depth pieces here, some edge pressure stuff like that, where you could get some nice pieces back in this free agency here. The one that I guess the one that stands out to me the most, right, is off the bat. Is Chase Young getting a bad rap, boys? Is Chase Young getting too bad of a rap right now? He's gonna.
He hasn't. No, I don't think so.
No, he hasn't produced like he was supposed to. I mean, if you're going from a team where you had 3 really good linemen next to you on the defensive line, what was it in Montez Sweat, Jonathan Allen, and Deron Payne, and then you go from that to the 49ers, and you still, I believe, he only had like 2 or 3 sacks for the rest of the season when he was on the 49ers. I mean, that you should have going to a team that was an upgrade. So it doesn't mean you're not, more than likely you're not going to get it double teamed as much. So I don't know. I just feel like his talent level, he hasn't met expectations yet. So I wouldn't really take a chance on him.
The injuries came
7.5 sacks.
That's not bad, but he was a number 2 pick, wasn't he?
7.5 for the season.
He's got 7.5 sacks on the season. He had 5.5 with Washington, and he's gotten 2 more in his time in San Francisco. I understand he's underperformed in San Francisco, but it's still 7.5 sacks on the season.
Montez went from 6 to another 6 when he got on the Bears, and their line is significantly worse. So that's my thing is like you compare that to me. I'm sorry, and supposedly he's supposed to be more talented than Montez Sweat coming out of college.
Well,
so
the injuries have caught up.
Yeah, but I think he's kind of past that. I'm not going to give him that excuse. Like if he just came off injury, okay, but I'm not giving him that excuse.
I'm pretty real.
I ain't got time today. It's Friday. I don't have time.
Are you okay? Did you need to relax?
I'm angry because you beat me in Monopoly yesterday. I want to talk about.
Whoa, hey yo.
Hey, listen, baby. Twice. Somebody got to win. Somebody got to lose. I just like to be on the winning side. That's all.
Okay, all right. I see how it is. All right.
No, for a 1-year contract, though, I would go for Chase Young for a 1-year contract.
And that's like I'm talking about. I'm talking about like Chase Young on a unique Ngakoue type of deal.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. If we're talking that, then yeah, I would take a chance on him
I'm
and
not
see if he
talking
can
long term. I'm not talking anything crazy. I'm not talking about, I mean, like I'm talking about like you bring this guy in just to do enough, basically.
Well, why? No. Look, if they stay with Dexter and Billings, for example, you need the other defensive end to create the wreak havoc along with Montez. You're going to either have a D line like the Colts, or do we have a D line like the Bucks have done it, where it's the interior linemen. Now, I mean, at times they like, what should happen is with Chase Young. That's just like your boy Adewale and Goulier was feasting off Jason Taylor. Jason Taylor was getting like 13 sacks, and this dude's getting 10. You know, so I'd rather get. Can we get another premier defensive end? Because that's kind of how it depends on how they want to do this team.
I mean, maybe you address it in the as we said before, that is a position of strength in the draft as well. You got a lot of good edge rushers at the top of the draft. Like if we're going to spend, maybe if we keep that 9th pick, we can spend it on a Dallas Turner or like we've mentioned before, Latu and some Jared Verse, those type of names. But I'm on the fence with Chase. Chase hasn't shown anything in the past couple of years, even before he was injured, outside of his rookie season, that impresses me enough. I'm sorry to even take a 1-year chance on him. I would go a different route. He would be my last resort if that's the case.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
Matter
maybe
who you like. I hear the comparison, and I know there's a bunch of different nuances that go to it. But can we talk about the lines that they had to actually play against when we talk about performance too? Because I mean, Montez Sweat benefited from picking up a lot of his sacks or a good chunk of sacks against people whose lines were like subpar compared to what Young had to face, especially toward the end.
What are you talking about?
Bosa on the other side.
Yeah, but
Bosa's on the other side doing the same thing against any team.
You gotta go win. You gotta go win your reps. I say he's underperformed. He's underperformed since he's been in San Francisco. You got to go win your reps when you got a defensive line that's that strong. But my thing is, right, if we look at a season in totality with him being a number 2 guy, 7.5 sacks ain't like you can do worse than 7.5 sacks.
Actually, I would say this: if you were able to get him on a flyer, prove it kind of deal. But now we get that either that nose tackle or the 3 technique. Which one? He can feast because both the defensive ends are now feasting. Because it's you need the 4 guys to create that type of pressure on that line. Yeah. So if the whole point is we're trying to build this team, we're sitting there trying to fit under this cap. How much talent can we get in here? How much is in the draft? One. I don't know if it's really a deep draft for defensive ends. You know,
I mean, at the top it is.
At the top, but I don't think we're going to.
But not as far as like 2nd, 3rd round.
Well, that's the thing. Do you take now? They're talking about late 2, but I get nervous or leery about guys that come off like major injuries like that.
Yeah.
Like even though he came back, it's like you're playing at the highest level now.
So what do you want? Do you want the guy that's dealing with major injury and might be very, very good, or do you want the guy that hasn't performed up to his talent level? So you got the best of, you don't have the best of both worlds.
Because my liability is I'm only dealing with a 1-year deal versus I signed Leatu for 4 years and then he's underperformed or he does get injured and he does nothing. We already know the expectation is take it or leave it or prove it deal with Chase Young. Now, outside of that, if we're going to actually invest in the D-line, then, I would go, what's up, boy? Brian Burns is like the number 1 guy.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's
Chris Jones. I'm sorry.
I was about to say Chris Jones is like.
I
thought you was talking about defensive ends. Yeah,
he's more of a defensive tackle, though.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, if I'm going to invest in my defensive line, like
Chris Jones is number 1.
Well, he's going to be there for about 2 or 3 years, you know. But I want I'm looking for that 5, if not 7, 10-year starter. That's what I want. I want my next. Can we find an Aaron Donald somewhere? Like I want. I want Sue. Yeah. I want those type of guys on that D line.
Considering the risk that we may be taking in this particular offseason with drafting, moving on, or keeping Justin, however that goes, do you think it'd be worth Do you think it would be worth it to take that big of a swing for Chris Jones? So like you're in a win type now situation potentially. So I think from that aspect, do you think it would be, if you're going that route, would it be worth taking a flyer on that? I mean, Chris Jones is I don't think there's anyone better than him at his
I mean, you're
position.
not taking
Yeah,
a
but
flyer.
he's still
if you go
29
get-
years old.
It could. I'm just saying it could work. I mean,
Yeah.
but it's 3 years or whatever. No, to me, when I see him, that's like watching the Akeem Hicks, seeing how he had a tenacity
Yeah,
to
That's
him.
a great
Like
comparison.
when he wasn't there, when Hicks wasn't there, that defense
Now
was
listen.
vanilla.
you could tell it was a difference.
Now
It was
listen,
vanilla.
he's a lot better than Akeem Hicks, though.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I'm seeing a
Not
guy
a lot.
like that. Like now, if we can afford it, cool,
Get everybody.
Get everybody. and move everybody in every
Yeah, let
position.
Tariq Stevenson play next to,
Put him next-
Chris
right next to
Jones.
Tyreek
Chris Jones.
Stevenson on the D line next to Chris Jones. That's how we're gonna get it
I'm
done.
happy. Where's my GM hat? I gotta get my GM.
I think those are. Let us know in the comments below any free agents you guys would want to be looking at. Those are the two that I thought, one from each team, and I understand why people are so reserved on Chase Young, but 7.5 sacks is your number 2 is nothing to scoff at, boys.
So my question was this: the problem with Chris Jones is how much he's commanding, like $30 million a year, isn't he?
Yeah, probably.
19.
That's the problem. He's trying to command a lot of freaking money.
Yeah,
He's making 19 this season, isn't he?
Making 19. Yeah, he probably
So
makes more than that.
that-
Probably
that's
mid
probably-
20s
you
probably
at the
giving him-
most, at the least.
That's why I didn't.
You probably
put
give
him on
him
the
25 to 27.
Yeah.
Jesus.
list. So yeah, that's what I'm
I
saying.
mean,
like,
I mean, if you this is the conversation. If you want the
Yeah,
best,
I'm
you
really
gotta,
right there.
you gotta
I'm
pay
not
him.
rocking with the best.
You got to.
Hey,
You can't have
Hey
step
man,
this
let us
offseason.
know.
A lot of bread.
Let us know who you guys would look at on that on either Super Bowl team in the comments below. Who you be interested in going out and getting. I guess here's the question now, boys. Who's your pick at Baki? Hilarious. Okay, Joe, you've convinced me. Tyreek Stevenson at point guard for the Bulls.
See?
Problems.
see the hat, don't you?
Dang. Fucking crazy.
With the Super Bowl this Sunday, boys, what are your thoughts on this game, man? How do you guys feel this Super Bowl is going to go down? I honestly believe that this is going to be a Super Bowl where we come out of the end of it and we go, that wasn't as high scoring as we thought, because these are two defenses, one in the San Francisco 49ers that seems like a hungry defense, seems like a defense that really wants to prove, hey, we've underperformed in the playoffs. We're going to lay it all on the line here. Plus, we've been here before and gotten our butts kicked by this team before. We're not letting that happen again. On the flip side, I think the Chiefs have a defense that just is not talked about enough.
Mm-hmm.
I think that so many people are focused on Taylor Swift. So many people are focused on Patrick Mahomes. So many people are focused on Travis Kelce, how the offense is taking steps back, all of that they haven't paid attention to how dominant this defense is. Defense has given up 25 plus points twice. I think we're heading towards a Super Bowl that is going to be a 17-14 Super Bowl. And I think Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs come out on top yet again.
Yeah. I honestly feel the same. Like every team I root for in the Super Bowl usually loses. So it's like I wanted the 49ers to win. Yeah. And I just think that what I was saying is it the system? Will the system beat the quarterback? Because you got Shanahan has been there. Will he learn from what he did? Well, he's been there a couple times, and then did he learn what he learned from in Atlanta?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I would like to see that the team can win, the system can win. Otherwise you got this out of this world talent here that's just going to dice. Will they beat up this defense? Because I thought the same thing. The Chiefs do have an underrated defense. That's what happened once Chris Jones came back and he started wrecking havoc on everybody, and now they started to kind of like get back and round back.
No
in shape.
training camp, no off season, just showed up. But he showed up week 2 and was sack and a half, 2 sacks. Hey man, I was here.
Involved. I am going to go. First of all, I'm going Chiefs. I got Patty Mahomes moonwalking to another one. I got Goat Mahomes. Whatever you want to call him.
I don't want to hear that no more. Like I'm tired of all
Goat
this
Mahomes.
No, man. C-Dub. We gotta shout out C-Dub for saying Goat Mahomes.
I have a goat headache of just the LeBron
goat headache.
Mahomes. Like can Purdy and them win just to stop the goat talk? I'm just tired of.
You don't like greats, huh?
I've been here. Because everybody's anointing someone. Their career's not even over yet. Like let's go ahead and get the whole career out the way.
No, his career could stop today. He's in a GOAT conversation.
Well,
Nah,
No,
it
because
can't
now we
stop
got
that.
let's say he wins 3, then
Well,
4.
Tom
It's
still does have 7 Super Bowls.
let it
Yeah,
just
I'll say this. He's got to me, for the GOAT talk to now listen, he's had the greatest start to a career of any football
that's
player
a
ever.
fact,
I don't
yeah.
care what anybody says. Like, this man is just like, hey, AFC title game, Super Bowl. Yeah, I mean, like,
I guess I mean to clarify this. I don't mean to say GOAT like greatest of all time, but GOAT as in like that upper echelon of contemporaries where it's like a room of like 3 or 4. Like he's already in that space. I guess I should have said top 5.
we can go to
I was
Hall
gonna
of
say
Fame.
that's
I'll go Hall of Fame.
Hey,
Top
you can't
5.
say I didn't mean GOAT like what the letters mean. I
What
meant
the
GOAT
greatest of
like
all
my
time?
own definition of.
How
I
about
thought we did
how about
multiple GOATs in these sports.
No,
I mean, just
we'll put him on the Mount Rushmore. How about that? Or just a Hall of
he's
Fame.
definitely on Mount
Oh,
Rushmore.
Greatest of all time. It's like already like they're
If he's
up
not
there
on
to
Mount
be-
Rushmore, who is?
I'm just saying that you can start
That's
having
a good
conversation.
Well, you can say
Is
his
Mahomes?
trajectory is getting to the
Yeah,
point where we
he's
can
there,
say he'll
yeah.
be. Yeah.
I'll ask this, right? I'll ask this one quarterback on quarterback just alone. We should be talking about the Chiefs here. But
Mhm.
is Pat Mahomes already on the Mount Rushmore?
Yeah.
If he wins
he will.
his third, is Pat Mahomes 6
Yes.
years in on the Mount Rushmore?
He don't have to win his third. He's already there.
I think
no.
he's got.
It's four
You do got to
QBs.
win.
I
Rings matter.
think it will solidify it if he does win his third. Like you said, he has probably had the best start to a career for a quarterback with all of his success and them constantly getting to the the AFC Championship.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, you have to put him in there. I would.
I mean, I think legit. Like, I would say
You got Steve Young, Brady Young.
Young ain't.
Well,
on
he's
my-
not there yet.
No,
That's what I'm saying.
no,
He
I'm
only had
going.
Montana got 5.
I would say Brady, Montana. Yo, I might have to put Pat Mahomes.
Mahomes.
on there, dog.
What are we talking about?
Yeah.
Who's got 4? Somebody got 4. No?
Yo, I might have to put Pat Mahomes on there. How many does Young
don't
have?
know.
Young has 3.
I thought Young had 3.
Young only got like
Okay.
1.
But yeah,
Young has 1. That was 95. When
Young only has 1. Montana
think-
has 4.
Montana has 4.
Montana got
Montana's
got
my
4.
Montana.
number 2 because Brady dethroned Montana. Montana was the GOAT. Brady, Montana. Yo, I might have to, dog. I don't like. He might already be on the Rushmore.
Well, I was gonna say this. If
yeah.
this is the thing with the Chiefs with Mahomes, if Kelce is not anywhere as a factor, then they're not going to win because that is his safety blanket. To me, we're going to see what Mahomes is really like once Kelce's gone because he's had him the whole time.
Well, I mean, Rashee Rice is getting better and better.
Yeah, but they don't really have that. They don't really have all the.
They don't have the years.
receiver core. Nah. I would say that.
You know what's going to irritate the heck out of me in this Super Bowl is I'm sitting here talking about how great this San Francisco defense is and can be, and Chase Young is probably going to go ballistic in this one, which is going to be hilarious.
That'll be
Uh, like he's going to have
Chase
3
Young gonna get more
sacks.
sacks
Everybody's
than
going to be
this
like,
season
"You
with the
gotta go get him."
49ers.
But
Yes, DC Rod, like he's saying KC gonna get that Patriot hatred. Like I'm at that point now because I'm getting a headache. Like we want the parity. I was telling Drew, I
tired of
said,
seeing
look, I'm hating until we get our dynasty. I'm hating on everybody else's dynasty. Like,
I know,
I'm tired.
right? Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's the same team, and they're like,
Joe,
yeah,
you've never had a dynasty
the Bulls.
in football.
I know
Well,
that,
no, of
and we
course not.
should have had one in the '80s, and they messed it up.
well,
Yeah.
Muzz want to do Dove commercials, but
Yeah.
everybody wanted to have Dove commercials back then, bro. That was what was going on back then. It was
I was
crazy.
just about to say Elway. How many does Elway have? He got 2 or 3. He had 2.
Two of the
They
was
did
it
back
Denver?
to
Denver.
back.
That's what I'm
to
saying.
back.
Like if he wins his third, and I do think he needs to win his third to separate him, but like, yo, if he wins his third, he might be on the Rushmore already.
So
dog.
he's on the Rushmore, but now greatest of all time is the number 1 on the Rushmore. Like, let's just let's get these dudes get their careers done before we sit there and call them the greatest of all time ever. It's like that's not. First of all, you can't do that when Brady already has 7.
Brady's got 7. That's ridiculous. He's got 7 Super Bowl wins. That
Luck.
makes no sense. It makes no sense. It literally
7 or
seems
10.
even saying that Brady has 7 feels wrong. Like football players don't win that often because of how hard the game is on their body.
Yeah, what do we say the average amount of years the football player plays?
3.
Like 3 or 4.
Three
They
and a
make up
half.
more than the average of people playing.
How about this? How about this? He has just as many losses as the average career of a running back in a Super Bowl.
I mean,
He has 3
that's-
Super Bowl
that's insane.
losses.
No, yeah, of course.
Some
you're
people
gonna
don't even
Brady
make
up
it
there.
to the Super Bowl. He has 3 of them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's insane, bro. It's insane. I think it's going to be an interesting Super Bowl. I think it's going to be really fun to watch, and I think the number one thing to watch for in this game is going to be that matchup of Kelce and Mahomes, the matchup of who's going to be able to go out there and actually shut down Travis Kelce when he wants a championship. Because I don't know how it magically happens, but the 6'7", 235-pound dude seems to always find himself wide the heck open in the end zone. Nobody covering him. Linebackers nowhere near him. Nobody's watching this dude. I that's going to be the part where it's going to be like, if they can figure that out, I do think the Chiefs are beatable. But nobody's figured that out to this point.
You know what?
it's
So
weird.
to that point, Pat. Though I think that I heard this earlier, and it was kind of interesting. I was saying maybe this is what they're doing. Is I think that Travis Kelce and Pat Mahomes are so cohesive that I think that Kelce has carte blanche to just kind of run his own routes and just find spaces, find space wherever he finds space. And Pat is like, oh, there he goes. Like you're not going to scheme for that because usually you know that, okay, this person is going to do a 5 hitch or a fly route or not. No, Travis Kelce makes his own route tree.
Well, they probably have a connection where it's certain timings. And if I do this, because, like Randy Moss, I'm open.
Yeah,
that's all it
Give me the
took.
ball.
Hey, Brady did it with Gronk.
Randy always say that. Watch every Randy highlight. He do it every play.
Every play.
He does it every play. Randy always
has his help. What I'm saying is there's a certain way of communicating with how they talk to their quarterback. So he might be like, if I got my nose is this way, that means I'm doing it. They got
well, that was the nose is this way was Michael Irving. That was his thing. But anyway, appreciate you guys for tuning in.
That's a good one.
Wow.
That almost went over my head. I was like, what is he talking?
Whoa. Little powder, little powdery.
Hey, real quick, man, we got to shout out these NFL honors, man. I went through that.
Oh yeah, let's get to the NFL honors, man. We had some big winners last night. You got the list there, Joe? Oh, look at that. Lamar Jackson for MVP. Love that, man. Can't go wrong there. Christian McCaffrey, Offensive Player of the Year. Who else we got in this one? Myles Garrett, Defensive Player of the Year. Some controversy on that one, maybe, boys.
Yeah.
CJ Stroud, Offensive Rookie of the Year was obvious.
CJ Stroud. I was
Will
a little
Anderson,
defense, but I guess there's nobody else that was better than him.
Yeah.
I've seen some smoke about Stefanski. I don't think it should be, but I'm seeing some smoke.
No, they had a really good defense this year.
At first,
he should have won. I think he should have
won.
Really good defense.
The way that team, they lost their quarterback. Yeah. They picked Joe Flacco up from the bus.
Went through 4 quarters.
Everybody.
Joe,
they hired us.
We literally played football for 2 weeks. No, I thought the only controversy that I think was major was the DPOY one, right? Myles Garrett winning DPOY, which to me, I thought it was it made perfect sense because and I see a lot of people in the chat, Tricky Trips, stuff like that. TJ Watt was robbed. Listen, TJ Watt is an absolute dominant monster. I can't say that he wasn't robbed, but what Myles Garrett did led to more victories on a more consistent basis while dealing with the same issues on the offensive side. Right? Yeah. Like if we're going apples to apples here, Myles Garrett dealt with exactly what TJ Watt's Myles Garrett and that Cleveland defense dealt with exactly what TJ Watt and the Pittsburgh defense dealt with.
I think it's worse. I think what Myles Garrett had to do was worse because they had like
I think it's pretty much the same.
They had a really good defense.
We get Flacco comeback player of the year. We saw that part, right? But like realistically, everybody else that was there, I mean, the Steelers, Kenny Pickett is bad. He ain't bad as some of those people that was in a Browns jersey. I'm just saying.
No, yeah, he is. Kenny Pickett is worse than messed up Deshaun Watson. Like Kenny Pickett is worse than 50% Deshaun Watson trying to go out there and play through injury. No, Kenny Pickett's bad. Let's hang it up, boys. Like, listen, there's certain ones, right? I'll sit here and argue with everybody about Justin Fields all day. Y'all know that's my guy. It is what it is.
Just Kanye.
Yeah, my thing with the whole Myles Garrett versus TJ Watt conversation is, and it's basically what you were saying as well, is I think that, he was on a team that really, really led the league with a lot of defensive categories. We know that the flashy stat is going to be sacks. I mean, he was 7th in the league in sacks with 14. Everybody looks at the sacks first and said, well, this person should have got more because he had 19 or 20. Well, no, that doesn't tell the whole story. And so, if you look at the Browns defense over the course of the season, I mean, they led the league in defensive efficiency, yards per game allowed, 3-and-out rate, and other categories as well. So, I mean, when you have someone that's as impactful as Myles Garrett on a team like that really has some other dogs in there as well, you have to go with him.
You know what's funny? I see Mike Davidson's comment. Shout out to Mike. I said the exact same thing. I'm like, I didn't even know Will Anderson did anything enough to warrant defensive. He forgot to be the best rookie. Forgot that he was even drafted. Yeah. C.J. Stroud overshadowed the whole thing. It's like he was taking 3.
Yeah,
because they took it was 2 and 3. That's hilarious.
I'll say this. As great as I think Ryan Poles did with this year's draft, you got to think Houston drafted the best out of anybody this year.
Yep.
I think the Bears are probably second right there. I think you got a lot of impactful pieces on your team, but they got game changers at every spot. You got a game-changing wide receiver. You got a game-changing defensive end. You got a game-changing quarterback. Like,
yeah,
they did.
I think that they're probably the team that you look at, right? Like, that's all you can do, right? Like,
he over there talking about Tyrese. I wasn't gonna say nothing. Like, shoot up, shoot.
Yeah, I mean, like that was what they did. Like 40, right, Steve Rob, 45 tackles, 7 sacks for Will, and insane that you were able to get all of that in one draft. So I do commend them for that.
He also missed 2 games with the ankle injury too, so there's that as well. Like, if he didn't play the full season.
The thing with Anderson is he did not stand out to me. Like, when you watch any of his tape, his highlights, like, I'm like, he's not dominant or big enough to play to me defensive. And he looked like a 3-4 edge linebacker, so to speak, but I didn't see the explosiveness. But I guess he's got this motor that it didn't make me say, like, man, we got to get Will Anderson, because it was all about Jalen Carter.
Yeah, I got to look up his stats because I'm trying to see what was he doing, because I know his stats kind of fell off.
You know what that validates us not taking
either one of those,
because he should have been this wrecking ball, like, impact.
Yeah,
like, I think of Sue. When Sue came out, he was like,
he's a
mauler. Dude was a monster.
He's a mauler.
Mean, nasty. Getting all the sacks and what have you. And to see Jalen Carter did not. I don't know where he was in the voting.
He finished with 6 sacks. He only had 33 tackles, though.
Yeah.
On a crowded defensive line, though, like, he was insulated.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys there.
Not to moonwalk back on the because I know we're talking about a separate thing, but still talking about these honors. Did you all see Michael Parsons' take or tweet when it came to the DPOY?
No, what do you say?
Pretty much he was saying it was a horrible take. Myles was the better player. Reality of the situation, Myles faced way more double teams and effect on QBs. Stop looking at the stats and look at the film.
It's probably
I think. I mean, I respect a player who knows and who's obviously one of the best in the game to do it. I respect his opinion more than most. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
For the record, Micah is saying that having more tackles than Myles Garrett, more solo tackles than Myles Garrett, just as many sacks as Myles Garrett, more pressures than Myles Garrett. You could have made an argument over him over Myles Garrett just looking at the numbers, and he's giving him his kudos. So I think that's pretty big of him to say that as well.
Well, Micah's a perennial, like, he's a problem.
Yeah,
like,
been there, doesn't it? Yeah.
He's that's a player right there. Like, he's probably in it almost until he just says he's done.
He's done.
He's special.
Yeah.
Like, I really was hoping we can get him in the draft when he was coming out, but it wasn't happening.
You knew where he was going. Didn't he go on, if I'm not mistaken, didn't he like make a video for Twitter and was like, Jerry Jones, I need you to draft me, dog. The second he did that, like, it was like, well, he's gonna be a cowboy. You know how
yeah, it was like him.
Gotta be tampering or something, right?
Yeah, no, yeah.
It can't be tempered if you do it the other way.
Yeah, that's true.
That's an audition. That ain't tampering. That's an audition. That's what that is.
Hey boys, do we got a drip or skip? We want to jump into drip or skip here real quick? Or we
Yeah, we can. I guess end this. It's either that or Friday free for all.
let's do the Friday free for all because I feel
let's
like
get-
Friday free for all is a better place to go.
And drip or skip is really that's Ringo's thing.
Yeah, drip or skip without Ringo feels wrong. So for the Friday free for all this week, I want to know everybody's Super Bowl etiquette. And what I mean by that is if somebody doesn't do this at the Super Bowl party, they're not coming back to the Super Bowl party the next year. What's your number one thing that you're looking at the Super Bowl party that you're like, you don't do this, you out of here? For me, number one, if I see you come to the Super Bowl party with nothing in your hands,
You better not leave with something.
you better not leave with something in your hands. It doesn't mean you can't come to the party, right? Because listen, everybody's situations is different. Super Bowl a time for people to get together, have a good time, have some drinks. Maybe you have a really nice host. Maybe you have somebody that's going to hold it down for you. Fine, boom. But if you show up, you got drinks in hand, boom, I got a little something like this, right? You leave with a little plate in your hand, boom, we ain't got no problems with it. You show up, oh, snap, I got a little, I brought some chicken wings, man, throw them somewhere. I mean, you walk out, you ain't got no problem with it. If you walk in with your two hands in your hand and you walk out with a plate in your hand, the next time we have a party, I'm showing up with my hands wrapped in aluminum foil because I'm bringing beef.
What?
Okay. All right. I like that. I like that.
I'm
You
bringing
know,
beef.
the problem,
Okay.
see, Pat, that's the problem. You guys are those young guys. You got
Oh,
all those
God,
young
here we
friends.
go.
You got those young friends. Those are those young people problems where you're inviting folks with no true etiquette. So I understand, and you need to teach these young people that because
Joe, this ain't a young old debate. This is a suburbs versus the hood debate.
Young. When I was younger, you would. I've seen jokers come to my joint with a bottle in hand and then straight try to walk out with it. I'm like, this is what we
Nah,
do.
that's crazy. That's your one. That's your one.
I've seen it. I'm like, I've thrown tons of parties where people just come, eat your joint, eat your stuff, and then they gone. Like, and they go.
I love C-Rod. Don't bring a veggie tray. Facts, bro. Nobody's eating veggies.
That's not bad. Veggie tray.
No. I don't need the dry celery at the end. Like, I don't need that.
First of all, if you're hosting the party, I think the etiquette is that you should pretty much provide the food, and then everyone should bring bottles.
No, well, okay.
Bottles and
that's a trade-off. But I would say bring your own food too. There's a lot of people that actually like cooking like specific meals and dishes for Super Bowl. Like,
you might
bring
say
your specialty.
Correct. Now you may say, hey, I'll provide the main part. You bring in some of the sides, right?
Yeah,
that should be fair. That's easy. Or the desserts. But typically, what we really just need, all you need is music and alcohol, and there's your party.
Hey.
Yeah,
where's Mike Davidson at? Mike Davidson, where you at? Because he shouted me out about drinking.
I will say this is the one thing that really grinds my gears. If I
clip that
grinds my gears.
Clip
makes
that.
me very hot, but I'm not ready. Jeremiah. It just makes me hot. Right? I'm just saying. Because I get to a Super Bowl party, I'm very strategic about where I sit. I like to get a real good premier seat.
Yeah.
And if I'm sitting there and I got to get up to get a drink, an extra plate of food or whatever, and I come back, this has happened numerous times at Super Bowl parties. If I got to come back and somebody's sitting in my seat, like, oh, I didn't know you were sitting here. Yeah, you did. Get your monkey tail up. Get up. Get up.
No, you're right.
I don't have time for that. We can't go through a debate like, get up, please. You knew somebody was sitting there. It's a premier seat. I got there early. Give me my seat back.
Hey, off of your point. I'm not gonna lie. If you're not watching the game, you don't sit in prime TV spots. You sit in the back with the people that's not watching the game. You sit all the way. If you're not watching the game, you don't get a couch seat.
That happened last year, and I'm not gonna point out or say who did that, but it's like, really? You were there, Pat. I'm like right in the front. Like you don't even watch football.
Don't even watch sports.
Hey, don't call people you know out there closely. I know exactly who you're talking about.
Don't worry, they don't watch the show.
Oh, okay. Don't call your sister.
I thought you were talking about me because I definitely was like hesitant for a second.
Okay, get him off of here.
What a ride! What a ride!
We're done with Pat.
Hey, shout out Rod, man. Got me right earlier. Got me right. Yeah.
I love how he's like, don't worry, they don't watch the show. I say who it was. Oh my God, wait a minute.
My dad watches the show.
Oh well, you know.
Oh yeah, well.
Thanks,
But your dad's got good etiquette. Your dad sat upstairs.
No, he don't even care
sat
about sports.
upstairs.
He's like, they're doing that sports thing.
Bro, his dad legit sat like in the kitchen for the whole time. I don't even know if he was there by the end of the night.
Nah, they just kind of hang out. You know, they'll come through. But
If somebody comes into the Super Bowl party and says, "So who's playing?" No.
Oh, that's a wrap.
Go to the back.
For sure.
Go to
My
the back.
dad. That's for sure my father.
Yeah, no,
He's like, they're doing that
no,
sports thing again.
No.
Hey, Tricky Trips, hold on. This is a good one. It said, if you sit down and you're like, so I heard that Patrick guy is pretty good, huh?
No. You've been found out.
Yeah. You know
Get
what
up
else I
outta
think
here,
etiquette
dog.
is too? Jokers, bringing all these extra folks through. Who was that? Somebody don't bring. And
Oh yeah,
Jay Crick, that's a good
uninvited
comment.
guests.
Yeah, like, or don't bring people to your party that aren't. I typically try to invite football people. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
So that's what we want, man. But AC Adams right. Bad females do get a pass, but they got to sit in the back. That's in the back.
Well, do you want? Never mind. Kid, what you got? What do you got there, kid? What do you?
He always says the most questionable things and then throws it to me like it's a Hail Mary. It's like a last second shot.
Wow. hey,
Last second shot is like,
kid
said
down there
questionable.
somewhere.
Now kid's on the screen. He said it. Oh, wait.
Kid
what?
down there
No.
somewhere.
I mean, for me, it's don't bring the weird person to the party.
Oh God, yes.
We all know
And
who
you
it
know,
is, too.
you know the weird person.
You
Not
know
you
who it is.
specifically, but you know the person you're bringing is the weird person.
You don't bring the weird person to the party. Don't be creeping everybody out.
I see
The guy that's over affectionate, and all of a sudden he like, dog, what is you doing? Like, I don't know you like that, but you got your hand on my shoulder. What is you doing? I don't know you like that, dog. Stop. Yeah, we done had a couple of those.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. Mike Davidson makes a good point.
Hey, Joe. That took a turn. I don't know about that.
Hold on. You bet not.
I wasn't at that
better
party.
not.
I wasn't at that party. Hey, kid, you sure that was the Super Bowl? Was that
Oh, okay.
what kind of party was that, dog? Twin said, "Don't come already drunk." I don't know about that one.
Kind of depends on which. I mean, this could be the second.
Don't come
party you hit up.
slapped. Don't come slapped. Because first off, how'd you get there? Did you drive? Yeah, I got problems with that.
No, you
But,
know what?
uh,
Another rule? Parking. Don't double park on the streets and make it hard for the neighbors.
That's true.
Jokers
That
will
is
sit
true.
there and park anywhere. That's a good one, actually.
I like
Mike
Mike Davidson. I think he mentioned it earlier. What did he say? Don't hold the bathroom up at a party. I need the host to have at least 2 bathrooms. I have 2 bathrooms at your place.
Hey,
You're gonna hold,
first
That
off,
sounds like
multiple
you have to
bathrooms
blow the
in here.
bathroom
No.
up, dog.
no, listen. First off, let's start there. Don't invite me to a Super Bowl party with 16 people at your apartment.
Yeah.
You ain't got enough bathrooms to support the amount of partying you trying to do, my guy.
Nope.
Like, don't invite me to the small crib. Like, you have to have a spot that you know can support a sufficient party. Apartment Super Bowl party, 6 people max. 6 people max.
A lot of Febreze and Lysol going around. A lot of
I've been at
Febreze.
some
Townhouse
parties
party,
where
right?
it's been like-
Townhouse usually get 2 bathrooms in there, right? I give you up to 10. I give you a 10, maybe 12.
I had
I
a
got
Super
you,
Bowl
man.
party in my I had a townhouse party when the Bears in the Super Bowl. That was when I was living there, and then everything else has been in the house. But yeah, man, people are crazy. What we got to start wrapping this up.
What do you say? Don't ask how the family doing while the game's on.
How your family doing? Yeah.
How's the kids? How's the wife? Hey, man, we appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave that 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. We'll be back here Monday morning Monday afternoon, I should say, reacting to the game, reacting to what we see on Sunday, and letting you guys know how the Super Bowl parties went and if anybody broke the rules. Hit that like button, subscribe to the Tricky Trip says score prediction before we get up out of here. I said 17-14. I'm going Chiefs.
24-21, 49.
I got 24-17. The 49ers lose to the Kansas City Swifties.
I'm going to
Oh,
pull
that's
for the
gross.
49ers. I just have to. I'm sorry.
I got 28-21 Chief.
He got an entertaining game there. Hey, it's gonna be 10-10 going into the fourth, and then all the touchdowns come. It must be greatest Super Bowl of all time. Hey man, appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. Hit the like button, subscribe to the page. Y'all stay safe out there in Chicago. For the pettiest man alignment speak kid, of course, Jordan JC, host of the Chicago Bears Breeze and ATS Report, and the super producer Joel Holt. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. One love, Bear done. We're not in the Super Bowl.